Right, it's a little bit disjointed, spread over a few days, but by chance I happen to have footage for lunch, dinner, and now brunch, breakfast, brunch. So kind of combining it into one video just to show you what a single day in my hometown of Mae Rim is like. Omelette right there. It's a fantastic place to hang out here in Mae Rim for a really yummy brunch. Right, I got my breakfast right here. This is my favorite thing to get at this restaurant. It's chicken pesto with some sunny side up eggs, and I also got a side of bacon as well. It's a breakfast of champion just right after the swim. It's going to be fantastic. The chicken is nice and tender, beautifully seasoned. It's got a really nice buttery tenderness, beautifully seasoned, delicious. I've been craving this for a while now, actually. Some bacon. Get up. Nice and crunchy, nice and smoky, as you would expect from a bacon. Egg extra runny. Oh, things are flying everywhere. Look at that. I love this kind of food. It's a beautiful Celtic mess, but it's really artistically done. The color, everything is so vivid, and all the ingredients are cooked as they should be. Let's chase that with some Americano. Yeah, that's really, really nice. It's the family's, well, actually my wife's family's go-to place to have brunch here in Mae Rim. And since Mae Rim, you can't really get good cakes. They're quite far and few, and this is one of the few places that's really got really good cakes. It's so good. In fact, my wife actually got my birthday cake last year from here. It was a Bath cheesecake, but I didn't order it today. It's just a bit too naughty to order some cakes, especially straight after the swim. But yeah, overall the food is fantastic, and sitting outside right now, people watching, the community going by, it's really cool. Oh, they're having some sort of temple fair there with a firework, if you can hear that. It's with temple festival, it's very loud. They always play fireworks, and you always hear that because the temple is actually just over on the other side of the plaza there. Okay, so I still got quite a way to go with my food, but I'm gonna finish the rest inside the restaurant. One, it's very hot, and two, randomly my uncle-in-law just popped in, so I'll join him and just sit and talk to him a little bit. But yes, come to Omelette when you're in Mae Rim. You can't go wrong. Really good brunch place. So sorry in advance, there's no audio talking to the camera within the restaurant. Ed Sheeran and along with other artists are playing in the background. So I don't want to get into trouble. I will explain the review and review the whole experience as I walk back to the car. Alright, I couldn't record in there because Ed Sheeran was playing in the background. So this video will definitely be taken down, or unless it's a very expensive fine to Ed Sheeran for the copyright to his music. So the noodle, what was it? What was it like? The broth, it was a little bit on the lighter side for my liking, but my wife seems to enjoy it. Yes, it was on the lighter side in terms of the depth of flavor, leaning a little bit more towards the sweet side of things. That's why I really have to kind of DIY it a little bit by adding a bit of crushed up chilies in vinegar and also the powdered chili just to really enhance that kind of light complexity of the broth. But really the star of the show was that braised beef. It was just melt in the mouth tender. It was yummy, delicious. The sliced pork was all right. It was tender, and but really it was all about that braised beef that stole the show. That really surprised me. That was yummy. The noodle was nice and al dente. Got a bit of a bite to it, not too mushy. And of course, the morning glory, the veggies in there, it really enhances the texture, gives a bit of a crunch. And I didn't add the cabbage in that you saw earlier. My wife actually liked the cabbage. I'm all right with the morning glory. How could I forget? The pork rind, you must add that to the noodle. If they have that at the restaurant, add that straight away. That gives it an extra crunch dimension. It's fantastic. And have coffee as well. I got my favorite iced espresso. This is a Thai invention with coffee, unsweetened condensed milk, just give it that extra creaminess. Really brings out the flavor of the coffee. Oh, it's so good. You know that bitter note from the coffee? The evaporated milk, unsweetened evaporated milk, condensed milk, really brings out that bitterness and adds a really nice layer of creaminess to that coffee. It's, oh my god, it's like drinking coffee ice cream right here. When you're in Thailand, try this. Especially this version is really, really yummy, creamy. Sorry, braised beef. I found a new star of the show. Well, actually, no. This is more like in a dessert territory. So, yeah, have the noodle, have this for dessert. For dinner, we went to a new Japanese restaurant here in Mae Rim, right off the 107 highway called Osaka. Now, the problem with restaurants in Mae Rim is they tend to play copyright music in the background, so I couldn't record the video, record the audio while I'm in the restaurant. They do have a table outside, but again, it's right next to the main highway, so the sound from the traffic was very loud. Therefore, I'm decided to do this in voiceover instead. Overall, the food was okay. It was passable. The sashimi was alright. The salmon was okay, but the tuna was a bit rubbery, and the octopus was just alright. You see, in terms of international food scenes in Mae Rim, there isn't that many, and once a new one open, it's like we have to check it out to see what it's like, because normally we have to drive like half an hour to go to a really good Japanese restaurant in town. So yeah, it was just checking it out to see what it's like, and it was okay. It was possible, but nothing special that really stands out at this new Japanese restaurant in Mae Rim. Okay, we're back at Omelette, back to where the brunch place started. I am dealing with this rather lethal fly that's trying to eat my cake. But, so yes. Over a few days really, because our schedule have been a little bit rough lately, so that's why we couldn't really get the footage in one day. So scattered over a few days and combining all the three places that we went to give you an idea of what it's like for a day in Mae Rim. And yes, as far as you can see, there's not really that many places for food here in Mae Rim. That's why we went to the Japanese place, because that was like the new place, a Japanese place in Mae Rim, and we decided to check it out, see what it's like. Turns out to be all right. It wasn't anything special. You see, growing up in Mae Rim in the past, especially going to international school here, that was like back between 2001 to 2008. So the only way back then for me to get some international food, anything yummy like KFC, pizza, I would head down to Gao in town, or the newer mall, the Robinson. So it's a long trek from Mae Rim into town back then. After I graduated, maybe around 2012, Mae Rim Plaza opened. And it's really trying to bridge the gap to provide a communal space, especially for the growing expat community to come in, have a place to meet up, grab some food, grab some coffee. And it sort of worked. There's also a fresh market just over there as well. And it sort of worked, but the place that really sold to the community stayed, and the one that came but didn't really work out left after a few years. So yes, it's like a rotation, ongoing rotation with many of the restaurants here. That's why when you come, some of the years you see a lot of boarded up shop with the shutters down, and it never really, at least from what I could see, it didn't really live up to the function that it was really designed for. So yes, so back to the main topic now. We're back at Omelette, just finishing up the video. And the other time I was at Omelette, it was a bit too naughty to order cake straight after the swim. I'm going to feel a bit too guilty. So, while I am battling with this very ferocious fly trying to eat my cake, I've got the legendary cheesecake that meant so much for me and my wife's and also our family. It's a really delicious cake, the one that my wife got for me for my birthday as well. So, just going to give you an extra footage of the cakes to end on a high note for this video. Here's a cake. Wow. You can really taste that cream cheese coming through. It's been left out a little bit because by the time I set up the camera, but it's got a really nice gooey, custardy, soft center in the middle. And it's not too sweet. That's why you can really taste that cream cheese coming through. The flavor is lovely. You can taste a hint of vanilla in there as well. Only thing I would change for this one is the burn bit on top. I really want to be a little bit more burnt, just to really give that offset contrast between the sweet and the bitter. Also, I know that Bar's cheesecake traditionally comes with, well, as is, but maybe a bit of innovations, a bit of berry compote here and there, just a bit of sharpness to offset the sweet and bitter. That would be lovely. I might do that actually. I'm going to look up some recipe and try to do that myself. Let's see what happens. For good piece of cake, you need some Americano. This time I got the ice Americano. It's really pushing 35 degrees out here in Mae Rim, Chiang Mai today. Wow. Somewhere over there, it's kind of darkening up. Maybe a storm is coming later, but right now I'm sweating buckets. It's really, really hot. So, yes. Sorry again for the disjointed video. You can probably see my clothing throughout the video changes quite a bit. I did try to keep continuity by getting the same shirt, but that was still in the wash, so I ended up with this one. But I was successful with the beard part. I managed to grow it out just long enough to match the first time I went to Omelette, so that sort of worked-ish. But yes, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching Thun's Table. And until the next video, take care everyone. Bye bye.